My days are kind of somewhat numbered, man. I have hepatitis C, right? And I drink every day like it's going out of style. And it's not fair, man. Not fair to my mother.
You know, people often ask me, were you depressed prior to going into treatment? Were you depressed early on in treatment? Were you depressed throughout your treatment center stay? And the facts of my story regarding my alcoholism is that I had finally been demoralized in just such a fashion, meaning that I was beaten into a state of reasonableness, where I found myself in a position where for the first time in my life, the pain became so fucking unbearable that I was willing to do anything that was suggested to get myself out of the position that I, Brandon Novak, had created for myself. So was I depressed prior to treatment? Absolutely. But the moment that I received confirmation that there was a bed available for me at the local facility, I felt like I had hit the Mega Millions. I knew that this time was going to be the time. But I also knew and had a healthy respect for the opponent that I was up against, meaning alcoholism and addiction. And I was not going to undermine or underestimate it yet again, like I had done so many times previously in the past. So I knew better than to, and I had done it before where I'd jump on the phone and I'd call my significant loved ones and tell them, things are different, I'm a changed man, I'm never going back. I've seen me do that. I'd cried wolf so many times, and it wasn't that I didn't believe it, because I really did. Again, I just always underestimated the opponent that I was up against, meaning addiction and alcoholism, and I wasn't aware of the facts of the matter. I had no idea the severity or complexity of the disease that I was up against. And now having understood, learned, and a healthy respect for it, internally I knew it was going to be different. Externally, I also understood it was about my behaviors. So I had to change everything as far as how I conducted business on a day-to-day basis, which meant I was not going to get on the phone, I was not going to call everybody, but internally I knew that this was it and I was never going to return. And what happened was, for the first time in my life, I went into treatment and I did not let my talk do my talk. For the very first time, I let my walking do my talking for me. And people started to see and recognize the difference in my behaviors. Not what I said or what I thought, but for the first time in my life, what I did. And when I changed my behaviors, oddly enough, then my beliefs started to change. And I didn't have to tell people how different it was gonna be and how much better I was gonna do, because it showed in my actions. My life became increasingly better the moment I entered into that facility. I did what was expected of me, and I became a model client. And I did it for no one else but for me, because the pain of my alcoholism far outweighed the fear of the future. You know what I mean? So it was a really simple equation to solve.